Hey guys, welcome back. Adam Flowers here. It is Mob Vlog on October 22nd, 4 p.m. Central Time. And today we are talking about the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. Talking about mob ties. We're going to talk about toilets. We're going to be talking about winnings in Las Vegas. We got a whole lot on our plates, guys. Welcome back. It is Mob Vlog. Red Wemette, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing fine.
Fantastic. We got Red on to talk to you guys about J.B. Pritzker and the Supermob, as they call it.
I found my Yeti cup.
You found your what?
My Yeti cup.
Oh, fantastic. So we're here to talk about J.B. Pritzker and the mob. And ties to the Supermob, as they call it, and Red's Yeti Cup. So welcome back, guys. We have you guys in the comments. Welcome in as the room builds up here. Scott H., Alan B., Dave M., Christina Morris are moderators in the room, so don't screw around. She's watching, guys. All right. So J.B. Pritzker, holy shit. The governor of Illinois. We're talking about organized crime and the governor of Illinois. What? What? Let's go back to the beginning. Where's J.B. Pritzker from, Red? What's the deal with J.B. Pritzker?
He was born in California, and in the Bay District of California. And when he finished, they sent him away to go to school. Actually go to high school. He went to a boarding school in Massachusetts, but his father died when he was young in his life, and they divided up the estate because he had sold the Hyatt, the fortune. And I don't know, he's quite a character. His growing up is very Jewish. They're very ethnic people, although they weren't religious and going to church or anything. They were very clannish and ethnic. So.
I didn't know Jews went to church. I went there. I thought they went to synagogue.
That's their church.
Place of worship.
They go on Saturdays instead of Sundays.
All righty then. So J.B. Pritzker from California, and you said, isn't there a lot of this movement of politicians from one area to another area to kind of influence?
I believe they're all from the West Coast, all liberal, and they're being sent all over the United States to run in different districts. One of my good examples I pointed out to you was Hillary Clinton. How could somebody from Arkansas go to New York and become a senator?
Well, Arkansas is kind of a red state, isn't it?
Kind of redneck. He went to New York as a Democrat and won.
Okay, so sent around in what's his education?
His education was going to, like I said, he went to grammar school out in California, and then they sent him to boarding school in Massachusetts. When he graduated from Massachusetts at boarding school, Massachusetts is very liberal. That's Kennedy territory, like Ted Kennedy. But when he graduated from there, he went to Northwestern, the most liberal school in the Midwest that I know. They have the what do you call it there? It's a law school, part of the law school, where they actually try to get innocent people. It's called Truth and Innocence Project, where they try to get innocent people in jail, put them in jail, and get a guilty person out of jail just because we can, because we're good lawyers. So that's where he went to school, and that's his educational background, formal. As far as the other educational background, he was there for Obama, Blagojevich, Dan. How do you say it, Adam? Come on, help me out here.
Blagojevich, right? I'm the butcher. Come on now.
I have a hard time even thinking about some of these names, but he's probably the most dynamic thing about him, aside from his education, is that he's made the statement that he's running for president and he's going to buy the presidency. What the heck? He said, what the heck? Trump did it. Why can't I?
Okay. He's got a lot of money. The guy's a billionaire. Isn't he the richest politician to be elected ever?
Yes, he is at this time. At this time, he is. But, he's got, that's another thing. The money that he got from his inheritance went into a foundation, and allegedly it was supposed to be tax deductible. It was not something that was supposed to benefit him, but he did cash it in when his father died. And guess what? He he put the venture capital, which originally came from the Teamsters Union and Jimmy Hoffa loans. He put it into venture capital offshore companies and started making loans and doing other things that were very unethical, very, very unethical. So nobody sees this guy. That's what I was laughing about, Adam. Nobody seems to have vetted this guy. Nobody. It's like Obama. Nobody knew where he came from or what he did. They just believed whatever he told them. But this guy's a good con man, a very good con man.
Good question, Brady. How rich is J.B. Pritzker? The net worth for J.B. Pritzker appears to be somewhere around $3.9 billion.
I was going to say around $4 billion. It's over $4 billion now.
Yeah, that's just the estimate. I mean, the family fortune from the Hyatt Hotels and his Pritzker Group private capital, which focused on tech startups.
He started that venture capital.
Right. And just recently, which has been all over the news in the last week or so, is his $1.4 million net win in Blackjack while he was here in Las Vegas.
Which he gave, that's another thing. He gave it to or he donated it to a charitable organization, they said. Okay, but the problem with that is he is the key holder on the charitable organization. So if he decides to pay it out or whatever he does with it to benefit somebody else, so it comes back to him, he avoids paying the taxes on it. It went through a corp. This guy has been dodging taxes since day one.
No, he's been dodging taxes so much he's had to dodge his toilets.
That's another. Go ahead, tell him about the toilet situation. He was.
We'll get to the toilets, but
man.
Let's talk about this $1.4 million win in Blackjack. To somebody who's a billionaire, if you sit down and you're playing Blackjack, which I'm sure he sat in the high limits rooms here in Vegas, and you play $50,000 a hand, you only have to win 56 hands more than the house wins. Meaning, at a normal time at a Blackjack table, maybe you play 40 hands per hour. So if you sit there for 4 hours and you win 156 hands and you lose 100, you're up 1.4 million. I mean, to you and me, if we were playing $5-10 a hand at Blackjack, it'd be the equivalent to winning $600.
Yes.
I mean, so the kind of, in my opinion, it kind of blows it out of proportion. I mean, I've sat in baccarat rooms with people that will watch them lose, $250,000 in an hour. Well, hell, you sat with me.
Yeah.
Watch me lose $250,000 in an hour.
Long. It just kept going. 50,000 at a crack he was playing.
Yeah, I mean, we up and down and whatnot. You can really, you could take the casino for some good money and like TW said, let's not bag on Pritzker for winning. Celebrate people for beating Vegas. Hell yeah.
I'll tell you what I got a kick out of. They actually call him a whale. They call him a whale.
Pritzker. Oh, he is. Any billionaire comes to Vegas and sits down and gambles like that's a whale.
Well, I looked at him and I thought his nickname, the whale, was from something else. He's huge, man.
He's a big dude. I'm a big dude, but this dude's a big dude. I mean, he's about 5'11", I think, and he's got to be 400 pounds or so. I mean, he's a big guy. Oh, yeah. I just he maybe a little carnivore form would do some good.
He's something else. But you mentioned the toilet, so I'm gonna go into the story.
Let's go down that shitty road. How about it, Red?
Yeah, I guess so. He had a house in Chicago and in Cook County, and the house was really taxed heavily because it was a mansion. So because he wasn't living in it all the time, what he did was I don't think he ever lived in it really, but he took out all the toilets. And the code in Chicago says it's not habitable if it doesn't have a toilet. So then he bribed the building department to condemn his building. And it was fine because he didn't want to pay any taxes on it. It's condemned. But then they thought they were going to tear it down after a few years. And he said, okay. And he put one toilet in his 4-story house. One toilet. No sink, but a toilet.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
He's a worker.
Toilets came out 10 years ago, so to be classified as inhabitable, because if you don't have toilets, you can't inhabit a house, unless, of course, you live in China. For property tax breaks, I shouldn't say that. There's parts of China that are beautiful. You go to Shanghai, it's unbelievable. But, third world countries don't have toilets. You go to the Philippines, I mean, anyway, it's a 6-story, 6,300 square foot property that was built in 1892. And it had an adjacent primary residence that's larger at almost 18,000 square feet. I mean, come on, that's 2,400 square feet, or 24,000 square feet. The math a little off today. That's a big friggin' house, man. How many toilets you think you had to take out?
A lot.
I mean, it's one part has 7 bathrooms.
I would probably say at least 14.
That's
the whole bathroom, the sinks and everything else, he just took them out.
Wow. That's pretty.
I don't know if he still owns that or not. I don't know if he got rid of it or what he did, but he put one toilet back in, just one.
Well, that's because they called him out on it. Now, let's bring up Jesse White.
Oh yeah, Jesse White used to be on my driver's license. I believe it was 1988. Check it with AI, guy. 1988. Who was the Secretary of State? I believe it was Jesse White, because Jesse White was might have been Jim Edgar though. I don't know. He was the Secretary of State. So I think Rod Blagojevich. Okay. At any rate, I think Rod was looking for cabinet members that he could push up and possibly put into different places. And he had Pritzker in mind. And then when they were talking about it, Pritzker said, no. He said, you should use Jesse White. He'll fill the ticket for the blacks, and he'll give you what you want. Now, this was all on tape. It came out in court during Blagojevich's trial. I hope
they had it on a wiretap.
Mm-hmm. But they played it during the trial. And Jesse White embraced him and said, I'll support him. And he supported him for the governor. So what can I tell you? I mean, the guy's a genius. But boy, you talk about corruption. They should have his name, his picture in the dictionary where it says corruption with his face there. These guys make the mob look like nothing. These are the real mob. These people are the people that ran the country, even when the mob was around. And these are the people who got rid of the mob. They got rid of the outfit for a reason. They didn't want to compete.
But they didn't get rid of it. They just took it over.
They wanted to get rid of the people, the mobsters, so they can have their way.
They took their businesses over. They said, "Oh, this is how it's run. This is how it's done. Let's take it." You know, all the way back to the Illinois State Lottery in the 70s. Oh, let's take that from them. We can run our own lottery.
Was that in the 70s? I thought it was in the 80s. I do know that he had a real heavy poker game in the Hancock building that he used to play. And as soon as they opened up the riverboat gambling and stuff like that, he didn't go there anymore.
First lottery was held on my mom's birthday, August 8th, 1974.
That long ago, huh?
Yes. They established legislation in 73, launched it July 1st, 74. And the ticket sales for its inaugural game, a weekly passive drawing, began July 30th. Broadcast on live television, and they drew it they started at the State Fair in Springfield. So.
Okay.
Hey, guys, be sure to hit the like button, smash it if you're just coming in. Hit the subscribe button if you're on Facebook. Hit the like button. It's good to see you guys in here. Joshua Allen Marshall, Steve Chesaday's watching. It's good to see you guys. So welcome in, everybody. And Jim Magnifici wants to know about the Baccarat game. Asians played it in Vegas in the MGM. All I know about Baccarat, I only played it one time. I didn't even play it. I watched a high roller play it. And
7-9.
helped him. I made some of the calls. I was like, play it, don't play it, play it. It's like playing war against the casino. But the reason that high rollers played, it's the best odds in casino. The best odds you could play is one-handed Baccarat. The worst odds is a single number on the roulette wheel. So
when we watched, I was with Adam when we watched it. We watched a player. He knew the player, and I knew the player. Adam introduced me to him. But this guy, he got to have three cards, 7, 8, and 9, I believe. And he would either turn one card away or keep it. And it's a very fast game. It's a lot faster than Blackjack. I mean, it goes fast. The odds are good in it, but you can lose your shirt or win your shirt fast. It's not like playing competition poker, like what do they call that? The poker that's
WSOP, World Series of Poker.
Yeah. What's the game they call Texas Hold'em? Texas Hold'em, where it takes a long time to do it. This is, you can do every minute. You can play a new hand every minute.
Play a couple of hands a minute. And it's the only time that you're allowed to destroy the cards while you're sitting at the table. You can bend them, crinkle them, rip them up, anything you want, because they just keep rotating in a new deck every time. So, yeah. Gomf wants to know about Abram Pritzker. According to Guy Russo, maybe he means Johnny Russo. He was. I'm sorry?
Gus Russo.
Gus Russo. Sorry. There you go. He was the Outfits tax attorney.
Yes, he was.
Adam Pritzker.
He also invested their money from in offshore accounts.
Gotcha. So he had a lot of money. Did he?
Well, his grandfather is the one that really had the money, but it goes all the way back to the Teamsters. It goes all the way back to Jimmy Hoffa. You don't get a loan from the Teamsters without paying a premium to the mob. I don't know how many people here even heard it, but it's a played recording. It's been played many times. And that's where Joey Lombardo is talking to Morris Schenker. And he wants the money that he owes Allen from the loan to Circus Circus in Las Vegas. And he said, "Oh, I don't owe you the money." He said, my deal was with Hoffa. And Joey said, well, Hoffa's gone. And the debt didn't die with him. And it got to the point where he told him, he said, if you want to live to be 70, whatever the year was, 73 or something like that, which is the following year, he said, I'd suggest you pay it. And it was only like the finder's fee that they had in 1974. Actually, it was in 1972 or 73 that they used for Weenie World and all that stuff. Irv Weiner and the rest of the guys. 1.4. I don't know why it always came to 1.4 million, but it did. It was always 1.4 million. And I think that's the finder's fee. If the loan's 20 million or 50 million, or the one in Las Vegas was how much to Argent?
I don't know.
I think it was 60 or it was up there pretty high. But they got 1 point something million, 1.4 million for the finder's fee. Everybody gets a piece.
Argent loan for the team from the Teamsters for the Stardust. It looks like the loan was, here we go, 62.75 million.
I was going to say 60 million, but then they gave him another loan completely because they wanted another one for, that was the loan where he went to Milwaukee and he had to get the endorsement from Milwaukee. He needed an endorsement from Kansas City, Milwaukee, and Chicago. And they gave it to him. But naturally, they got their fee, which that fee they cut up between the people that agreed to sign for the loan. Now they got a percentage on the kickback also. But they also get a finder's fee for the loan. And that's what the Pritzker family did, was on their loans, the mob or whoever arranged the loans for them would get their finder's fee. They would get the big money. And they always paid it back. Because when you have $1 billion and you invested in Wall Street, and your investment is an offshore company, that's your investment corporation, you can gamble that $1 billion or 1 million, whatever you want, you can gamble at for 2 days. You buy into the market and then buy out. If you only win 1 point when you sell out, you made a big profit, major profit. What is 1% of $1 billion?
Of $1 billion? $1 million.
Okay, so you made $1 million in a day. You keep doing that over the year, and it adds up. And when you have other people come to you and say, "Oh, you're doing so good, let me invest my money with your money."
Yeah, sorry, it's 10 million. My math's off.
Well, you never lose. Okay, 10 million a day. You'd never lose your principal amount. You can always pay that back. And if that's timed out over a period of time, or the rate on it, the interest rate is like 3.4%, 3.5%. That Teamster loan that went to the Stardust, the interest on that was only 3.5%. That was what they call a preferred rate. And a lot of people that I know have been saying for years, they wish that the union that they had, like the Chicago police and people that are going broke in Illinois, the sheriff's police and everybody else, they wish they had gone with the Teamsters, because the investments that they have, they're not good anymore. And these people are running out of money. And once they run out of money, they're not going to pay. How are they going to pay benefits and stuff from people that they made? These arrangements that are supposed to be benefits that when people go to work, you pay into them and you get something out of them, health benefits, retirement.
Right.
When the money's gone, it's gone. And don't say it can't go, because it does. People go bankrupt. Once they go bankrupt, it's over. Have you ever worked with a company and they went bankrupt?
No, but I heard of companies like U.S. Steel or Acme Steel, or was it Inland Steel?
Inland.
Inland went bankrupt. Yeah.
All those mills in Indiana, they all went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Because they ran the companies down to when they knew they were going out, they ran the companies down to the end on credit, just filed bankruptcy. That's it.
That's it. And then all your workers that had pension benefits gone.
What about your creditors?
Sure.
People you borrowed money from. But nobody borrowed money from the Teamsters loan or Teamsters Union. The loans went bad. As questionable as they were, and paying dividends and paying all different kinds of things, they never went bad. So the Pritzker family,
they never lost a dime on any loans that they made.
No. But everybody criticized them and said, oh, they're out there making these super loans. That's because the banks couldn't make them. Bank of America couldn't afford to do that. Bank of America is going to come up with $62 million for a casino? No way. That's gambling. We don't want to get in that.
It's a good damn risk to take. I mean, casinos never lose, which is why Christina Morris wants to know, what's your favorite casino to play in? None of them. None of them. They're all they all win. So
Adam, when I was out in Vegas, the man we met, he told me, and he said, this Adam will vouch for this. He said, don't play any of the games. Watch me, but don't gamble when you're here.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, unbelievable. Yeah, that's unbelievable. It's true. I mean, the casino has the edge. It's if you're winning in the casino should not let you leave. Keep you there as long as possible, because you will lose eventually. The more you play, the more you'll lose. Every once in a while, gamblers get up on the casino, but it doesn't last for long. So, Bob Granfield, Polaroid, bankrupt, pensions. Yeah, just like Xerox.
Yeah. All those major big companies that were blue chips back in the old days, except IBM. That was Big Blue.
Sure.
They all went bankrupt at one time or another. Even Trump went bankrupt. He filed for bankruptcy, I don't know how many times, but it was Chapter 11, reorganization. And the banks that he owed the money to would lend him the money to get him out of bankruptcy, because they had a strike on the cement workers in New York, and he couldn't get his building finished. He couldn't get it occupied. This happened, that happened. But the banks would lend him more money to bring him out when he filed bankruptcy, because there was enough money in there where eventually he would pay them. Yes. That was the place of doing business. As he calls it, the art of the deal.
There you go.
But I don't. Go ahead.
Steve Wynn said, when you want to make money, buy a casino. Or sorry, when you want to make money in a casino, buy it. And yeah, that's the way to do it. And Big Mo, if you want to talk to people, you know, gambling isn't the only way. but it is a fun social event when you're standing around the table and you're playing blackjack. It can be a fun event. So standing there and yeah. So back to Toilet Gate.
You gotta love to give money away, and Pritzker doesn't. He does not give money away.
Right.
This guy takes money. He absorbs money. He's a sponge.
Right. So back to Toilet Gate, when he removed the toilets from his Gold Coast mansion to classify it uninhabitable, it dropped the assessed value from $6.3 million to $1.1 million, which saved him almost $331,000 in taxes between 12 and 16. Didn't he agree to pay that money or donate that money or something, just like he did the gambling winnings?
Yes. He donated to a corporation, charity, that he was the chairman of the board of that charity. He said, I'll give it to the court. I gave it to on paper. It looks good. I gave it to charity. But it gets laundered, pushed back around through other people, and eventually comes back into his pocket.
Wow. I like what is
pay tax on it a little bit at a time. And if he doesn't want to pay taxes on it, he puts it in an offshore account, because you don't have to pay taxes on money unless it's in the United States, unless you put it through one of our banks. So if you go through the Netherlands, Antilles, Netherlands, or something like that, you don't have to pay taxes on it. It goes in there. It's a trust.
That's what he did with his offshore shell companies. But his opponent, I like what his opponent, Bruce Rauner, mocked him, calling him the porcelain prince of tax avoidance.
That's true.
I think that's pretty wild. But his offshore investments, he had ties to shell companies in the Bahamas and other tax havens. Because again, if it's not in the U.S., you're not paying you're not paying U.S. taxes on it. Which I get it. You have a lot of money. You want to look for loopholes. You want to look for ways to keep that money. When you don't have money, you got to worry about getting it. When you got it, you got to worry about keeping it. So I could see why you'd want to do that. But still, when you have, it's like most people say, you have all that money, pay your fair share.
And, nobody even knows what his fair share is. If you have a Dutch account, like I said, from the Antilles or something like that, and they gladly take your money because they're going to invest it, and that bank is solid. It used to be in Switzerland, but Swiss banks, now they agree to work with the FBI. Most of your offshore banks that are from the Netherlands or something like that, they don't really, they just tell the FBI, forget it. I mean, this is an island. We own it, and we're not going to cooperate with you, period. We'd lose our customers if we cooperated with you. They'd all walk out. And this became a problem for drug dealers way back in the day. So in some ways, I saw things like Noriega. When he was arrested, he owned the bank in Panama. He actually nationalized the bank. So he owned it. And what he did, all the investors lost their money. And they were all drug dealers. But every one of them lost their money. What was that movie George Young was in?
Oh, Blow?
Blow. He lost everything. He went down and tried to straighten it out. And even the Colombians said, we can't do anything. That's it. So what the Americans do, they went in and did some psychological warfare. All his troops ran off, and eventually they loaded him up and put him on a plane. I believe that was Bush that did it. But nobody's coming after this whale. I mean, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be here. If he said he's going to run for president, he just might. He's ran for a lot of offices and put $1 million of his own money in and lost and never blinked. Never blinked one time.
Well, when you can lose, $1 million at the blackjack table, losing $1 million in a campaign isn't a big deal either. So it really isn't. Again, it's like
he donated to Hillary's campaign. He donated to Obama's campaign. When he donates, he hedges his bets. It's like betting in Las Vegas. I'll give you $1 million. I'll give you $1 million. Whichever one wins, I'm happy. I'm covered.
Sure, that's how it goes. Back to this, to Blagojevich and the tapes that he made. When Blagojevich went to prison for supposedly auctioning off Obama's Senate seat.
That's what they said in the newspaper. That isn't what he was convicted of. That's not the charge that he was charged with. He was charged with many different things. The news media said that's because it was a press release that they gave the news media. But they said that's what he was being convicted of. Wasn't that way. And as a matter of fact, one of his major problems at the time, and I remember I looked into this very carefully at the time, not that I'm a fan of his or anything else, but I wasn't a fan of Obama's at that moment. And I was very upset that he subpoenaed Obama, and the judge says, No, he's running for president. We can't have him in the courtroom. I'm denying your subpoena. Well, I want to play all the tapes. And he had the tapes from Obama. No, you can't play those either. And what he was really convicted of was lying to the FBI, falsifying records. And did he? He didn't do anything that any politician hasn't done in Chicago, except piss on the wrong guy.
Well, they're all pissing on each other over there, so you know.
Oh yeah, they're really dumb.
But while Blagojevich was in prison, he had conversations with Pritzker, and in those conversations, Pritzker used racial slurs, which came out in these wiretaps. So, how is it that Jesse White, something like Jesse White, just up and forgives him?
Jesse White really doesn't care about. Jesse White really doesn't look like a black man. He doesn't look like Barack Obama. He's probably.
Wait a second. Hold on. Jesse White doesn't look like Obama. And Obama, what are you talking about, man? Jesse White. I would not confuse Jesse White's ethnicity if I were to see Jesse White in public. I'm looking at a picture right now.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't. You looked at Jesse White, yeah?
But he doesn't think about himself as a black man. He thinks about himself as a politician that just happens to be darker skinned. He's not really I'm all for the brothers. He isn't into Black Lives Matter or anything like that. He's I don't know, he's a different kind of guy. He's an interesting character. He went from New York to Ohio, and then he went on to from Cleveland, Ohio to Chicago.
No, okay, all right.
But he, I don't know. He wasn't that fond of Obama. He really wasn't. They're different between the two of them. They're different. I mean, Obama screams, my people. He didn't. Jesse White didn't. He didn't care. I don't think he really cares about skin color at all.
When it comes down to politicians, power trumps everything, like Gompf said here.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Brian Magnifici, is Jesse White white?
No.
No. Here, let me just pull this up. Entire screen. Here you go. There's Jesse White for you guys. So no.
But he's not. That's a darker picture. He's the one on the left is the one with the red tie. There you go. Can you blow that up?
There you go.
Yeah, he doesn't really have all the features of a Negro. It just does.
Oh boy. Well, Red's how old are you again? 76?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, guys. So that explains Red's.
Hey, I am. People want to call me white. I'm Caucasian.
Okay.
I'm not white. When
All
you
right.
say white people, that means everybody that. Oh, now they're getting clever on these. Some of our government figures. He's Indian. Okay.
Indian. God.
Hey, look at Kamala. Kamala. She's what is she? East Indian and what is she? East Indian and Jamaican.
Yes.
But she claims to be Afro-American.
He looks a little like Tony Accardo.
What, with a good tan? Yeah.
And the right lighting, with a hat and some, why not?
Anyway, why is race that important? It's really not important. What's important is what they do and what they've done. You're not going to see Jesse White in the news. Jesse White was smarter than that. He dodged the bullets a long time ago. And so did Obama. Rod said very publicly, he said, the same people that were behind Obama were behind me. It's just that he won. The same people that were behind him were behind me, the powerhouses. So,
Sure.
Was he selling a seat? No. Who got the seat? Who wanted the seat was Jesse Jackson Jr., except he went to prison. So he couldn't give him the seat. And then he was indicted. Rod was indicted. That was a very interesting trial. It was like the corruption of the corruption, the worst of the worst. It was crazy.
Right. So
Boy, red isn't red. I'm kind of pink. Do I look kind of pink right now?
Look a little pink right now. Yeah. That's all right. I look a little fleshy colored. I don't know, flesh. I'm not as pink as red though right now. I can tell you that. When I was drinking, I was pinker, but I'm not anymore. So
it's very warm here. Right now it's 90 degrees here.
Yeah, 90 and humid. So Jesse White, Brian Magnifici is not in charge of how much the state charges for license plates. That's left up to the Illinois General Assembly through state statutes. So,
Senate, that was all set up by Paul Powell years ago.
Yeah, they're the ones who dictate registration fees, surcharges, and allocation funds and whatnot. So, but back to Pritzker, because that's what we're here to talk about. Pension funds and fiscal claims. They say that Pritzker had misleading statements on Illinois' pension crisis, exaggerating savings from buyout programs, and claiming constitutional barriers to reform, like a $25 billion claim versus minimal actuals. So again, with the pension fund, fiscal claims in the state of Illinois, basically understating it.
Yeah, but he went out of his way to say, I think I can solve this problem. Our pensions are going broke. Okay. So what we're going to do is, before they go broke, folks, we're going to let you buy out. You can buy out your pension. And we'll see how many people go for that. And a lot of people did. Will it save the pension? Maybe. It might. Because the buyouts, it's like a bean counter. The buyouts were cheaper than having to pay out. It's like a Social Security. If somebody takes it at age 62, by the time they're 88 or something like that, they have gotten their money out of it completely. Somebody takes it at age 70, they may die by age 75. So many people have taken Social Security and died 3 years later, maybe a year later. You gamble on it. It's a gamble. You may pay into it your whole life from the minute you start paying income tax, but you'll never get it all back, ever. So,
oh my God. If you, instead of paying into Social Security, if you were to take the money and to invest it just into the Dow or the S&P 500, if you were just put every dollar from your Social Security, instead of giving it to the government, just into that, you would, and you started that at the age of 18. By the time you're 55 years old.
Taxes before I was 18. When did you start paying taxes?
Fuck, man. My first job on the books with the government. I mean, I always worked off the.
When did you get a Social Security card?
Fuck, man. When I was born, and they issue them to you when you're
when I was a kid, I got mine when I was 10 years old.
I don't know. I have Frank Collada's Social Security card. It was issued in 1938, the year he was born. I'm pretty sure they issue them to you when you're born.
Mine wasn't. Mine was issued to me in 1959. And the reason it was issued to me was my parents requested. I was working as a salesman for the Chicago Daily Herald, selling newspapers door to door.
You know what? I'm mistaken. I believe it's just his birth date's on the card is 38. But it says newborn since the 80s receive SSNs shortly after birth through the enumeration at birth program.
Then
it was upon application.
Yeah, his father was killed. So he was entitled to money.
I'm sorry?
His father was killed. His father died when he was 8 years old, I believe. Correct?
Yes.
And he was entitled to money from Social Security.
He was entitled to what money?
Social Security pays survivor benefits to the children and the mother of a surviving person or a person killed.
So if you're a gangster, if you're a mobster and you get into a car wreck, then you die. The mother doesn't have to fend for herself, because I thought that's why they started welfare.
Well, they not for mobsters. They didn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that his dad was a criminal. His dad died in a car wreck. I don't think the government was ready to step up and start paying the family money.
It wasn't a matter of that. She can apply for it. The mother can apply for it. The problem with this is, did he pay into it? If he paid into it, he's entitled to get something out of it. He's not around to talk to. So if his widow applies for it and applies for it for the children, they get it. And then the children have to pay taxes on it. So
don't you have to have a legitimate job and be paying Social Security taxes?
Not necessarily. You should. He probably did. I'm sure that wasn't the only job he had to was robbing banks, because he didn't do too well at it. But he might have had a regular job and did this every so often. So if he paid into a meager amount of money, whatever he paid into, some people pay large, some people pay small, but that's where it balances out. So it's security. That's what it's supposed to be. Social Security.
Right.
My point, I started paying it when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, you have to have so many quarters of a legitimate job. It's like 48 quarters or something. So it's like 11 years of work
for retirement, but not for now you do, Goff. Now you have to have 40 quarters in. But in those days, you didn't have to have 40 quarters in. All you had to do was pay into it. But mostly, it was kind of like a voluntary thing in the beginning. I mean, paying into it, FICA, which we no longer have, FICA, it's gone. But that came into later. I mean, that came around later. So I paid into it voluntarily from the time I was 10 years old until what, 19? Until 1989, and then I paid into another Social Security number from 89 all the way through. They didn't want me to have the same Social Security number, so I moved around.
So you got a new identity too, then, if you got a new Social Security number.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We changed all that. I did a video on it. I did a video on how I did it.
Social Security isn't broke. It comes out of the general treasury. It doesn't have its own bank account. Scott H said he took his Social Security as soon as he could. But again, you don't know how long you have. Then again, Scott H, you got a pension from Lockheed Martin. So I'm pretty sure you're safe with Lockheed Martin.
But he gets them both since he paid into them.
Sure. It's just the more money you have, the more money you're making, the less Social Security you get. Unfortunately,
it's taxable. Social Security is taxable.
I didn't they stop this year charging federal?
This year, I haven't filed for 224 yet.
You know, when you think about it, Social Security is damn near a tax. I mean, it's like you are forced to pay into it. They take it out of your paycheck, so they don't call it a tax. They don't call it a tax, but in essence, it is a tax. Then when you're eligible for it and you get to get paid Social Security, they tax it again. It's like taxing a tax.
Double tax. And guess what? You won't get a politician in the world that's going to vote to get rid of that because it pays their paychecks. It pays for their expensive flights. It pays for their expenses. It pays for everything. All that money, the billions of dollars that comes in, it pays for our politicians. It pays for the beautiful things that we see in the White House and the actual House of Representatives, Speaker of the House. You see all those beautiful wood carved things in there. I mean, who do you think paid for it? We did, not the politicians that use it. And the air cleaners and everything that are there, we paid for them. The carpeting that gets cleaned, we paid for it.
Sure.
They just vote to see how they're going to spend our money. That's what it's really all about.
Sure. Scotty, just say the beautiful bill eliminated tax on Social Security. Federal taxes, I believe. I don't know if there's a state tax on it or not. I don't receive Social Security.
In New York, there is. What they got Trump on was his state income tax. They said, "Oh, income tax fraud." No, it wasn't. It was state income tax because he left New York and he put his residence at Mar-a-Lago in Florida. They said, "Oh no, you own property here. As long as you own property here, you have to file taxes here," which is not true. When they finally went through the trial and everything, he won.
Wow.
The headlines read, that's like I'm talking about Pritzker too. The headlines read, Trump is violating, he's an income tax evader. He's violating the income tax laws. They don't say, "Oh, the state of New York." They just say income tax. And everybody believes income tax. CNN, NBC, ABC, they all run that story.
Right.
They don't see the Pritzker stories. They don't run. Nobody's looking at him with a magnifying glass.
Right.
Why aren't they doing that?
Right. Tony Damiano says Al Gore ran for POTUS, promising to put Social Security in a lockbox instead of the general fund. So, yeah.
He did. But guess what? He didn't win. Bush took it. That was the 2000 election that Bush stole.
Right. Right.
Folks, I'm neither Republican or Democrat because I may be registered as one or the other on a different date because I want to vote in the primary, but I'm not leaning either way. The same things you're going to find with Pritzker are the same as you're going to find with the Bush family or something. That's easier to say, Bush. Bush, one syllable. Are you going to find?
You know what George Bush couldn't say. W could never say. He couldn't say. Well, let me get this right. He couldn't say. I lose. He could never say I lose. He's the one that held up Florida, right? It was like 2 or 3 months of recounts. He could never say nuclear. He always said nuclear war, nuclear instead of nuclear. I don't know. Anyway, so he could not say it. He just could not say that word.
He did tie up the Chads in Palm Beach, in West Palm Beach County. I was there. And people don't believe that today. Younger people that weren't around, they don't believe that. But his brother was governor of the state of Florida. And he said, "No, keep counting them, until the Supreme Court came up one day before they had a deadline in order to name somebody and came up with a ruling that says, you got to name somebody."
Right.
And that's how Bush got in.
Right. So, Brad, you had to be a resident to pay those for those taxes to apply. You have to be a resident.
Yes, you do. You certainly do, but you don't have to be a resident of anything, or you don't have to be guilty of anything to be charged. You can be charged with anything, and you don't have to be guilty. You've been charged. That's it.
Right. You can even plead guilty and not be guilty.
Yeah, they have the no contest.
Right. There you go.
I'm not contesting your charges. They may or may not be true, but we'll make a deal here.
There you go. Well, Red, if you get hung up on Pritzker, you can always just say Pigster. It's easier.
That works fine for me. Pigster. I can say that one. Pigster.
All right, guys, we're going to head over to Red's channel. We're going to be over there doing a little more talk, a little more A little more talk about Pritzker, Pigster, whatever you want to call him, and
Pissler.
Pritzker. There you go. We'll be over there, guys. Red, thank you so much. It was good having you guys come out. Hit the like button, guys. Share, and of course, subscribe if you're new here. We're here on Wednesdays. Sorry we missed the last couple of Wednesdays. I was a little under the weather. I got a nasty cold, and God, it hung on for 2 weeks. So I'm still got a little cough. But anyway, guys, we'll see you next Wednesday. And Red, adios. See you later, sir. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy. And if you come to Vegas, be sure to check out the Vegas Mob Tour.
Yo, Bugsy, it says here they got something called the Vegas Mob Tour.
Yeah, Bobby, ain't you heard? It's all about our old friends Sam Giancana, Meyer Lansky, Mo Dalis, and of course yours truly, Bugsy Siegel.
Are you kidding? A mob tour about us?
Yeah, they take you to where we used to hang out and to all the places where we used to do our crimes.
You mean they expose all our secrets?
Yeah, but it's okay, because we ain't around anymore. So let's face it, we can't get busted.
Hey, you think we can sneak on board and check this out?
Of course we can. Forget about it. They'll never even know we're there.